Hello and welcome here to Talk Tottenham here with your host Tom. Guys, I'm back, giving you guys match preview for Sunday's huge match in the Premier League at home to the enemy, home to Arsenal in the afternoon kickoff. And so, guys, yeah, I'm going to be giving you guys a match preview for the game. Let's have a look at the likely team that Ange will be fielding. We can talk a little bit about some injury news this week, and yeah, really just what the game means to Spurs, and what it means to Arsenal as well, because they are obviously in a rich vein of form at the moment, and it's going to be a tough one, guys. There's no getting away from it. It's going to be a tough game, but Tottenham have really, we've got to be up for it from the off, guys, haven't we? Including the fans, and really make that stadium an absolute cauldron of noise and very intimidating. And you know, obviously the same fixture last season, guys, ended in a 2-0 defeat for Spurs. But prior to that, our home form against Arsenal. Let's have it right, guys. It's been really decent for many years, and that was, I think, last year. That was their first win in, I don't know, was it maybe nine or 10 years or something like that. Certainly 7 or 8 at least in the Premier League. So, you know, look, there's no getting away from it, guys. The fact is, like I said, earlier on in the season, in the away fixture, they're a different team these days. Unfortunately, it does pain me to say that, but they are, and it's going to take an almighty effort, guys, to get over the line in this one. But we're still fighting. We've still got to preserve our ambitions this season. Top four isn't over yet, although unfortunately, since the last video, Villa have now opened up a 6 point gap on us. So we are in fifth place on 60 points, and Villa are on 66. But we've got 2 games in hand. But I mean, the next week or so for Spurs is not only is it pivotal, but it's a really challenging set of fixtures coming up. But we play Arsenal, and then we've got an away match at Chelsea, and then we go to Liverpool. So we're gonna really see. We're gonna really see in the next few days, guys, what this squad is made of, and how much we want top four. Really, I've said it before, guys. I've said it in recent videos. I am dubious as to which competition Spurs ought to be going into next season. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I would love Champions League football as much as the next person. I really would. It would be a wonderful achievement in Ange's first season, and I think would be a huge overachievement for the squad. Nobody expected us to be in the top four this season. Nobody really expected us to be qualifying for the Europa League. So the season that it has been a good season, but the way that the fixtures have been and the results of late, the form has been a little bit inconsistent with the defeats at Newcastle and Fulham, heavy defeats, and sometimes you're just not quite sure what you're going to get with Spurs. That's the problem, and we haven't really been able to find that consistency that we had at the start of the season. And I said it before, guys. I said it in a previous video. I wouldn't be too against going into the Europa League, but Champions League would be amazing for the team, and it would be great for the cash injection. We could attract a higher caliber of player, and it would be a great return in Ange's first season. But the way that Villa are playing at the moment, and they obviously got that amazing result at the Emirates, which I was absolutely delighted about. But they've just found a way this season, Villa, just to keep churning out results. But overall, guys, we've had you look at the league table. We've had 8 defeats, I think, in 32 games. So that's not to be honest, that's not bad. That isn't a bad return. 8 defeats, I think, is okay. And we've had 18 wins, and what is it? Is it 8 draws? I think, yeah, something like that. Maybe 18 draws, six. Sorry, 18 wins, 6 draws, and 2 defeats, something like that. So when you look at it, the four, over the course of the season, it hasn't been too bad. But um, like I say, the next few weeks are going to be pivotal. It's going to be absolutely massive, um, and we've got to absolutely go at Arsenal like there's no tomorrow, and don't let them. There's only one way to play against Arsenal, and that is to get in their faces and to stop them playing and to play yourself. I mean, the way that Villa played against them in that second half at the Emirates was amazing. They really, really did impress me. The way they kept the ball, they dominated that game, and we've got to do the same. We've got to be brave in possession. We've got to fight for every 50-50, and we've got to be up for it, guys. And we've got to be defending really, really well as well in this game, because Arsenal are going to have chances. We know they are. They've got dangerous players that are really in form at the moment, with Odegaard and Saka, and even Havertz at the moment. They're all playing well. They're all scoring. When they lost at Bayern the other day, I thought that was it. To be honest, I think we all did. I thought that was maybe their season completely unraveling, but they have found a way, to go and beat Wolves, and then they smashed Chelsea apart. But it's going to be a different game against us, guys. It's going to be a different game. If they're thinking that they're going to be able to come and get an easy 3 points. I mean, I just read Paul Merson's column on Sky Sports and saying that Arsenal are going to easily turn over Spurs. It's not going to be like that. Merson should know better. It's not going to be like that. Spurs are going to make it tight, and it's going to be a hard game, and there's not going to be much in it. I wouldn't have thought, like most of these games. If he thinks Arsenal are going to run away with it, he's got other things coming to him. And I think, as I always say in most of these videos, the first goal is important, guys, isn't it? In this game, if Spurs can get it, I think it's going to be a really, really good day for us. And unfortunately, if Arsenal get it, it could be a long way back for us. Like it was last season, they scored 2 goals in the first half with. That first one, which was an own goal pretty much by Lloris from Saka's cross. I mean, can't legislate for anything like that, and you've just got to hope that Vicario, won't do anything like that. And then we've got to be worried about Odegaard as well, because he rifled one in as well for their second last season. Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous already about the game, guys. I'm nervous already, but I'm really, really hoping that the team can do it for the fans, and to get one over on Arsenal. No one at Tottenham, it just can't happen, guys. We can't let Arsenal win this league. We can't let them win this league, and we've got to do everything that we can on Sunday to ruin their party. And the players have got to be up for it. Everyone will be up for it, of course they will be, but we've just got to go hell for leather from minute 1 to 90, and take it to them. Looking at the team news, guys, obviously, really bad news during the week with Destiny Udogie breaking down, and he's out for the season now. So he's having an operation, and that's a big loss for us. There's also rumours that Porro is struggling at the moment, although Fabrizio Romano said that he should be okay, that he's back in training. So you'd imagine that Ben Davis will come in for Udogie, and hopefully Porro will play at right back, and then Romero and Mickey van der Ven. I wouldn't want to see us break up that defensive partnership. They've been so good together. Obviously, Big Vic in goal behind them. Moving on to the midfield, this is where it starts to get a little bit more complicated, guys, because Andrew's got a bit of a decision to make here, and it's not easy really to predict what he's going to do, and it's made more difficult with the fact that a lot of players are not really in form at the moment. You look at Basuma, you look at Sarr, you look at Højbjerg. None of them are in particularly good form. One person who I definitely think definitely needs to make the lineup for sure is Rodrigo Bentancur. Okay, because we're going to need his panache, we're going to need his precision and his guile in the midfield to keep the ball away from the likes of Rice and Odegaard and keep the ball ticking over. And I really want to see Bentancur getting on the ball as much as possible and feeding Matters and the other likes of other players as well. Bentancur, we have started to see some better performances from him as well this season as well. So I'm really hoping that that Rodrigo Bentancur starts, and it's who you play next to him, guys. You know, I don't know what Ange is going to do. I'd be surprised if Højbjerg starts because Ange just hasn't tended to go with him, and we don't even really mention Oliver Skip now, which I think is a bit of a shame, to be honest. I think we could have done with Skippy in the last few weeks, and at least I'm surprised he hasn't been able to get any action or minutes whatsoever. He's obviously just spells one thing for Skippy, and he's obviously going to be on the move. So you'd imagine it's a toss up between Basuma and Sarr. For me, guys, I'd go with Sarr over Basuma. But even Sarr at the moment hasn't been playing his best football, and he looks like he's playing with an injury as well. And I know he was struggling with a back injury not so long ago, but Sarr actually played in the fixture last season in the 2-0 defeat to them. He actually played really well. He was Tottenham's best player in that match. So I think we would benefit from Sarr's energy as long as he's fit. We would benefit from his high energy and lung bursting runs. So for me, guys, I'm gonna just about side with Bentancur and Sarr in this lineup. It wouldn't at all surprise me, guys, to see Ange go with Basuma. But how many more chances is Basuma going to get in that midfield? Moving on to the more advanced midfielder, we're gonna obviously see James Maddison in that number 8 position. Massive game needed by Maddison. He was absolutely brilliant at the Emirates earlier this season in one of his better games for Spurs. And I've said before in other videos as well, guys, we haven't really seen that same Maddison, have we? After that first 10 games of the season, like you can say for many players, to be honest, in the Spurs squad, I'm not really quite sure what's happened. But we're going to need Maddison's creativity, the playmaking abilities that he's got to feed in the likes of Johnson and Son in this game. And you can't leave someone like Maddison out, but really hoping that we see a really strong performance from Maddison and some of those through balls that he can play. Hopefully, won't be too long before he gets back to his electric best that we saw earlier on in the season. So that midfield so far, guys, Sarr and Bentancur with Maddison just a little bit further forwards. I'm going to go, guys, on the left. Now, again, Ange has a decision to make. Timo Werner or Brennan Johnson. For me, guys, I know this might be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to go with Johnson on the left. And I'll tell you in a moment who I'm going to play on the right. You might be a little bit surprised, but I have quite enjoyed seeing Johnson's performances on the left this season. I think he's been dangerous there. He has also done really well on the right as well. But I would side with Johnson on the left. I'm going to play Kulusevski on the right, guys. I think this is a good game to bring Kulu back in. For me, I want to see Ange mix it up a little bit, and I just don't particularly think Johnson on the right and Werner on the left. I mean, Ange might go with that, to be honest, but for me, I think Kulu is a big game player. Over a course of a season, I think he has got more potential still than Werner. I know Werner has come in and done quite well with the assists, but it's really important, guys, for me that Kulu plays in this game. And I know he hasn't been in the team for many weeks, but yeah, Brennan Johnson for me. I want to see him on that left hand side, and Kulusevski on the right, and I want to see them um, attacking their men and having shots as well. It's really important that we have enough shots in this game. Up top, guys. I think it's going to be Heung-min Son, but there are rumours that Richarlison is back in training, but he hasn't played for a number of weeks. So for me, it would be a risk just to throw Richie back in. But another thing that Ange could do is he could play Richarlison from the start and then stick Sonny out to the left, and then you could play Johnson on the right. So, I mean, the good thing is players are back now. We haven't really got that many injuries. If you look at the overall squad, who is injured? Well, obviously Doggy's injured at the moment, and other than that, it's Fraser Forster, who wouldn't be getting a look in anyway, and obviously Sessegnon and Solomon as well. So all our first team players are fit and available. So can't use the excuse of any injuries really at the moment. It's just, for me, guys, it's just a shame that not enough players are actually in form at the moment. But that would be my team, guys. I know it's a little bit different, but I just feel that things have got a bit stale, and I feel like Ange has to try something a little bit different in this game. I'd be surprised if he does go with Richie from the start, but quite possibly maybe that's what we need. But would a target man suit playing against someone like Arsenal? Quite possibly. But for me, I think it's a bit of a risk, to be honest, to be playing Richarlison. So Son up top with Johnson and Kulu either side. I'd be quite happy with that. Or maybe play Johnson on the right and Kulu on the left. But I can't really remember many times we've seen Kulusevski on the left. Doesn't seem very comfortable out there. He seems so much more comfortable on the right. Guys, so I went kind of round the roundabouts with that lineup. But do let me know, guys. What do you think of my lineup for the North London derby? Are you happy with it? Would you be making any changes? My score prediction, guys. I think, look, you can never predict a North London derby, and you either go with your head or your heart. My head is probably telling me it's going to probably end in a score draw, maybe a 2-2. But I'm going to go with my heart and just side with the fact that Spurs are going to nick it 2-1. It's going to be close, guys. It's going to be nerve-wracking. We know what type of a game it's going to be. If the scores are level at 1-1 after about an hour or 70 minutes, I do think that the crowd are going to really, really drive the team on. And I think the pressure will get to Arsenal. They know that a draw in this game is pretty much title over for them. They need to win. So if it is still 1-1 with, going into the last quarter of the game, they're gonna be really, really open. They're gonna go for it. And I think it's gonna leave space for the likes of Sonny and Kulu and Johnson to do damage at the other end, guys. So for me, I'm going with a 2-1 victory for Spurs, and it will finally, guys, stick that nail in the coffin and end Arsenal's title bid. Guys, what do you think the score's going to be? Are you happy with my lineup? Would you be making any changes? Let me know, guys, in the comments. If you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much. Give the content and the video a quick like. I'll be obviously putting out my post-match video after the game as well. It's going to be a big one, guys, but I'm really hoping that Spurs can do it this week. Stay safe, stay well, and as always, come on, you Spurs.